Good morning, guys. This is Jessica from JessicaLynnOriginal Studios. Today we're going to go to Epcot. You know, Epcot has always been one of my favorite parks. I know I say that every video, right? Every park is my favorite. But Epcot has really been something that I have kind of fallen in love with more as I get older. I like all the characters. The Guardians of the Galaxy is there, and today I'm wearing my Bing Bong shirt, so I'm going to try and go find Joy. The one I really want to go to is Festival of the Arts. I have never gotten to go to that one, but it is on my bucket list. As someone who, obviously, if you know my channel, I do a lot of art and creative stuff surrounding Disney, and being able to go to the Festival of the Arts is truly one of my top bucket list items. All right, so we thought it would be a lot of fun to go ahead and take the monorail. So we took the bus, which took us to the Magic Kingdom. And then the Magic Kingdom, we're gonna go all the way around because I thought it'd be really fun to ride to Epcot by the monorail. It's a great way to travel. It's a great way to just kind of enjoy the parks. And I thought, you know what, let's just do that today. So as you can see behind me, we've got the Polynesian over there and the Grand Floridian, the wedding chapels. We're actually going to go past the new DVC that's being done at the Polynesian, and I'm not sure if I like it or not, but I suppose we're going to find out, you know, how it really looks. I mean, obviously there's no theming on it yet, so give it a little bit of time. It'll probably be a wonderful area. I'll probably love it, right, because that's the way it always is. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the resort. Now, this one is a non-stop monorail. Now, one of the things I like to do is to take different modes of transportation as often as we can. I will tell you, my kids think the Skyliner is really another ride in the parks. So, although it's not in the parks, it's actually outside, but they count it. So a lot of times I will kind of take some of these routes just to see how they run. When I was younger and we went to the Wilderness for the very first time, the Wilderness, Polynesian, and Grand Floridian were all hooked together on a bus loop. That's not the case anymore. So I always try to do that so that if for some reason we had to take an alternative way to get home, I kind of know how these buses run and how that process works. Now, the trip we were just on, this trip is actually from July. And when we were here, the Wilderness and the Contemporary were linked together. So there was kind of a cheat that they didn't really tell you. So we would go from, like, if we had to get to the Contemporary for dinner, or we wanted to hop the monorail, we could take the bus anywhere and it would go to the Contemporary. That right there is the entrance for cars that are going into the Magic Kingdom. To me, every time I see that, I always get kind of excited because I know the Wilderness is just past that. So I want to give you a couple of things about the Epcot monorail. Now, the monorail itself does go from the Ticket and Transportation Center straight to Epcot. So in case you don't know what monorails are, hopefully you saw when I had the video when I first started. But the monorails, they are a signature mode of transportation. Disney World in Florida, Orlando, Florida, has a couple of main ones. They have buses, which there goes a bus. We've got the monorail. We do have quite a few different types of boat, and the Skyliner. Although when people think of Disney World in Florida, they always think of the monorail, even though the monorails are in Disneyland. They've actually been in Disneyland since 1959 and in Florida since 1971. There's quite a few different colors. These are the Mark V, I believe they are, which is a new, sleeker design, better technology. Obviously, there's still been things, so hopefully maybe they'll replace them again. If not, they're still one of my favorite ways to travel. During this mode of transportation from, there goes one right there, there's gold. When we're on our way to Epcot, I really like this because it's a great kind of just getting a lay of the land. It's a great way to kind of see people traveling, and it's really relaxing. The only time it's packed is like at night. Or first thing in the morning. But it's typically a pretty nice, relaxing ride. Not to mention that very first view of Epcot, so worth it. So the other thing about this is that the entrance to this, so where we're going to be getting off this monorail, is going to be right at the front gates of Epcot. And when you get off the monorail, you're going to go down some, it's like these big, huge ramps. And when you get to the bottom, obviously there's security, and then you're right at Spaceship Earth. And for those of you that don't know what that is, that's the huge golf ball looking thing right at the front gate. It is a ride. There's also, from what I have found out from some people that I know, there is also companies that will actually rent out space in there. So there is actually rooms as well, which is kind of cool. And we're so close. Now, this was filmed in July. So this was prior to Moana's water opening up. And the relaxing kind of area that they've opened on the backside of Spaceship Earth was not open yet. So when we come around this backside, you're going to be able to see all that still sort of under construction, which is kind of cool because now I know that it's open. We've seen it. It looks a little different. And again, this is one of my favorite rides to arrive at Epcot. So we're going to circle around. You can see there's the huge Guardians of the Galaxy show building there on the left-hand side in that light blue, and Spaceship Earth. It's always fun too, because we had just been at Disney back in October. And when we were there in October, they didn't even have half of the stuff inside that new central hub even completed. So to go from October to July, what a huge difference. And I think this is just the best way to arrive. You can kind of get a lay of the land, see what all is open, what is closed, see how crowded it is, some shopping. All right, so we're going to come up right around this corner and we can start to see what is going on in the parks. Oh, there's a whole family there in orange. That's kind of fun. I always wonder if people, when I shoot these videos, I always wonder if people pause to try to find themselves to see if they were there the day I was. Like, that's what I've done before. So there's the Coca-Cola station. I always love it. This looks to me like a quilt every time they do this with the flowers. It's so pretty. So you can see Figment off there on the far left-hand side. And we're getting ready to come around. And there you go. You can kind of see all of the updates that are happening. And again, remember, this was as of July of 2023. So I always thought that would be a lot of fun, but I think we're gonna go and see if we can get on Nemo. Looks like it's about a 15-minute wait. So again, it's high noon, so it's hot, but we thought, you know what, let's come to the parks and see if that kind of detracts guests a little bit. And there's a lot of people, but the lines are not horrible, but it's hot, I'm not gonna lie. So lots of water, and let's go ahead and see what we can do. This will be fun. I haven't been on Nemo in a long time, so. That's a dolphin swimming upside down. Oh, that's so cute. Look at the big fish. It looks like a brain. It looks like a brain. Did you hear the song? Oh, we have that. Like Grandma's zombie. A boat. Over here, friend. There, she's coming. Look, she's confused. There she is. Story right there. That blue one. Oh, here's Nemo. There goes Dory again.
There's Dory.
Can you see?
There's Nemo on my list.
Here comes Dory again.
Where's Dory? There's Dory. Wait, where did Nemo go? Or that? Nemo's actually not.
No,
Never mind.
Straight back.
Son, come here.
That's not
Of all the forces at work on the land, humans have had one of the most profound effects. The need to produce food for a growing world led to the enormous use and sometimes overuse of the land. In our search for more efficient ways to grow food, we often fail to realize the impact of our methods. Today, we're learning to live with the land, discovering better ways to grow food that will assure both human and environmental well-being.
Pesticides by moving into using natural predators like ladybugs and wasps to control pests. In the farmlands across America, we're learning that by plowing under vegetation containing natural fertilizers, we can enrich the soil without the use of chemicals. In arid regions, we're learning to produce food on desert seacoasts by developing and planting crops that thrive on salt water. In Japan, we're learning.
How will we meet tomorrow's growing needs for food production, yet still respect the needs of the land? Some of the answers are being discovered just ahead. To help us maintain these carefully controlled ecosystems, and for your safety, please remain seated in your boat at all times. Welcome to our living laboratory where scientists from Epcot and the U.S. Department of Agriculture are exploring innovative ways to produce bountiful harvests now and into the future.
So what are you? What are you?
The tropics are home to the greatest diversity of plants on the planet. Many of these, like papaya, bananas, cacao, coffee, and rice, are well known around the world. These are just a few of the edible plants that have been an important source of nutrition for people living in the tropics. Many are rich in vitamins and minerals, while others are well adapted to growing in less than ideal conditions. Some, like the water lily, thrive in wet, swampy areas and waterways. All parts of this plant, even the flower petal, are edible. The starchy root of the plant has long been used to make flour for baking. One day, many of these lesser-known tropical plants may be as important as the bananas growing on both sides of the globe. More than 28 million tons of bananas are eaten annually, making it the most popular fruit in the world. When you mention farming, you probably don't think of fish, but fish farming, or aquaculture, accounts for nearly half of all the seafood consumed globally. Tilapia, bass, and catfish, like the ones you see here, are three of the more popular crops raised by fish farmers. The sustainable system we're using here recycles the water in the tanks, and as a result, we're able to save millions of gallons each year. Our small fish farm produces nearly 5,000 pounds of fish each year to serve in restaurants around Walt Disney World. These plants are definitely on their way out. Innovative growing techniques like these increase yields while more efficiently using resources like water, fertilizer, and pesticides. Another innovation at work is our integrated pest management program. By populating our greenhouses with beneficial insects that prey on harmful pests like aphids and flies, we are significantly reducing our reliance on conventional pesticides. We're growing these crops using our nutrient film system. This technique precisely controls and recycles water and nutrients. With it, we can produce over 27,000 heads of lettuce a year in this one small area. Some of our best ideas have been inspired by nature, like these fruit and vegetable trees. By growing these ground plants vertically, we can increase yields and better control diseases. These crops taste as good as they look. In fact, we serve more than 15 tons of produce from our greenhouses in restaurants here at the land every year. future of agriculture may include innovative ideas like this vertical growing system. Plants grown in this way use a fraction of the space required by traditional growing methods. That saves water and increases production. The aquaponics system on your left combines hydroponics with aquaculture. The fish provide a natural source of fertilizer for the plants, and the plants help keep the water clean for the fish. It's another great way to produce more while using less. In our lab, Epcot scientists are working with the U.S. Department of Agriculture on a number of innovative projects. The goal of these efforts is to produce higher yielding and better quality plants. These greenhouses represent just a fraction of the work being done with local agriculture for our growing population.
Alright, we're going to try and do a little bit of Soarin'. As you saw, we did Living with the Land, so Soarin' is one of my favorites. I always like Soarin' over California a little bit better, but this one's a lot of fun. Basically, you go up in these little seats, and it's sort of like Avatar, same thing where you have a huge screen and you're able to feel like you're flying. So it's a lot of fun. I think if you have a fear of heights or if you are scared of any of that, you know, just make sure you bring somebody with you who can hold your hand. Now, if you have a super fear, don't go on because you will probably panic because it goes really high. Or you could ask, there's a bunch of different rows. So you can see there's rows 1, 2, and 3. If you ask for 3, that one is the closest to the ground. So that one might be a good one for you. The other thing is, depending on where you are, you can see there's Concourse C, Concourse B, Concourse A. If you want to have the perfect view, definitely see if you can get into Concourse B. If you're on C at the end or A on the end, that's where, if you've ever seen the videos where they talk about how Eiffel Tower is kind of bent, crooked, that's when that happens the most. So definitely ask for B if you're looking for the perfect view, or if it's your first time ever going on the ride. Now it's almost creepy because they've left us here while we're waiting to ride. So it's just a quiet concourse and us. Anyone? Maybe there. It almost, hey, it's like X-Men kind of thing going on right here. That's fun. Anybody? Yeah, I think after this, maybe after this ride, we'll go check out Figment, or we'll try and find something like that. With my shirt, I definitely want to go and find Joy. So let's see what we can do. I absolutely love the musical score to Soarin'. It's so beautiful. It actually is my alarm clock sound. So every morning I wake up to Soarin', and it always makes me so happy and gets the day started good. Now, when you were watching Living with the Land, I don't know if you noticed, but there was rain just pouring in. It was just a downpour. And so we were like, okay, we'll see how this goes, because we really wanted to film more tonight. And so as soon as we were done, we actually ran over to Figment, and it was her last time for meeting people for the day. So we caught up with Joy. Whoa, girl. Whoa. Thank you again, Joy. Thank you. Thanks for liking my shirt. And rain was literally the rest of our night. So we adjusted our plans, left the parks, and actually went to one of the hotels, hung out, kind of scouted out around, and just sort of enjoyed each other's company. So I hope that you enjoyed our video today. I am so excited. We are so close to 3,000. I can't even believe it. And then we are onwards and upwards toward 5,000. So thank you guys for subscribing. I appreciate it. Costs nothing. And don't forget to like this video. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care, everybody.